able to come.
Right. But he did say that we could assign him to put out the mats.
You were gonna bring the maps.
I've got them in my car.
Okay. I don't want them, just,
I'll give them to you.
So you gonna run the meeting?
no.
We are on.
We're on, okay. Well, this is the Bikeways Committee. What is it today, the 15th?
20.
No, 20.
20th. I'm close. 20th of May. Those in attendance are Charles Walkley, Paul
Cause
Glazell,
Fran.
Fran, and Jim. We're looking for a motion to accept the minutes from the last.
So moved.
Second.
That's
Second.
great. So now we're down to new business. And the first thing I have is trail condition. And we have a report for that. Do you want to give
Correct.
it?
Yeah, Caleb just sent me that seems like a dirt biker's been on the trail and spitting up a lot of sand. So Caleb just sent me a picture of it, and I will, after the meeting, send it to Link. And his group is really good about cleaning it up.
Yeah.
So
Where is this sand? Just curious.
near Monomoy,
By the high
Brooks
school?
Park,
Okay.
Yeah.
heading east.
So definitely, we saw a picture of it, and it's definitely.
It's for the minutes. Who's Caleb? Oh, that's Caleb. Hi, Caleb.
Everybody knows Caleb.
Not Jim.
Not Jim.
What's your last name, Caleb?
Ledoux.
Ledoux?
L-A-D-U-E.
Okay. Thanks.
So there's that. I'm trying to think of anything that I've run into lately. I would say that the trail is in pretty doggone nice condition.
Yeah.
It's I don't think I ever ride it without thinking about that. What's really nice now is that they're working on the root heaves. They still have more to go, but even if they don't complete the whole trail, at least they're working on it. It seems like now it's been 2 years in a row, so I'm hoping that will continue along and be an annual thing, which it's well needed. And certainly what Link did is still very nice. Do you notice any changes in it, Jim? You probably ride it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I definitely.
But
You know,
I mean-
what one of our friends calls the Great Wall of Harwich is no longer between Chatham and, he's a Chatham resident. You know.
But
It's gone.
Link, when he did that, felt like, it may cause other cracks and stuff.
Not at all.
But I haven't noticed that. Whatever he did, I think is maybe more stable than he thought. Because of the trail will be repaved, he did it, and for safety. So he did it, but I'd like to report, boy,
Amen.
it worked good, and I don't see it.
Maybe we should
I'll mention
compliment it when you say that we've noticed it.
Yeah.
I have a question about the trail that just as a small thing, it bugs me though, the graffiti on it.
Yeah.
Is that would Link or somebody else be the one responsible for cleaning that, painting over it?
I say yes. On the old colony. Mm-hmm. Where have you seen the graffiti?
Between the Rotary and here in town.
So coming up the hill.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of.
Yeah.
It's just annoying,
Yes. Yeah.
In this case, it wasn't obscene or anything. It was just
Right.
it's kind of quasi-political, I guess.
How about the fencing? Has any of the old fencing still around, or is Link gonna put up more new fencing? The reason I ask is because I saw there's this conservation area on Queen Anne just after you turn left from the light.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a
Yes.
big open field, and now there's a fence there.
Yes.
And I said, wow.
And it's
He has put
a
I
fair.
think a fair amount.
He hasn't replaced it
of new-
all. You know what I mean? But I certainly don't think there's any broken rails.
No,
now.
No.
I think it's all,
They put up the 3x3, not the old, post and rail kind of thing.
Right.
And one rail usually across the top is plenty, or near
Yeah.
the middle,
yeah.
looks great.
Maybe you could ask him if there's more to do, or if he's done with the fence on the Old Colony Rail Trail.
Jim, to answer your question or put a conclusion on it, what we should do is when we see it, we should take a picture of it and send it to Paul.
Yeah.
And then Paul will forward that to me, because I know he's removed graffiti in the
lot of
past,
them. Yep.
I just haven't seen it. I guess I have my eyes closed when I'm riding up that hill.
Yeah, if you,
But, yeah, that, we should stay on top of that. So that's a good point. All right, so next we have, just looking for a report, Town of Barnstable Rail Trail Extension progress. I have ridden down there 2 or 3 times now, and they have trimmed a lot of trees. The park down there, I always forget the name of it, it's in Yarmouth. Starting from that park all the way to the end out at Higgins Crow Road, they've trimmed a lot of trees along the edges of that. I think that they're doing that in preparation for widening that part of the trail.
So after you come over the bridge,
Yeah.
you used to get right into the park,
Yes.
and the dump
Yeah.
is on your right.
Yeah.
Is it the trail gonna go through the park?
I don't think it's gonna change, I think they're just gonna widen it as they connect up, because they trimmed those trees to do that. I haven't read anywhere, but I'm just looking at it thinking, there's survey stakes out there, and, it just looks like they're gonna widen it. They cut down a lot of the brush was encroaching upon it, just after the dump there. There's some curves and you can never, I
Where
always
the
felt a
basketball
little.
courts are?
Yeah, beyond the basketball court.
Oh, on the
you
other
go
side.
through that, I
Oh,
call
yeah.
it the cattle gate.
Yeah.
You go through the cattle gate.
Yeah.
There's 2 of them, and then there's these very sharp turns to go up that hill, and,
Yeah.
and the wild bushes were growing out
Yeah.
into there. Now they trimmed them back, and I rode it last week. Surprisingly enough, they've grown back.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
really,
I was shocked, because I was saying, oh, this is so nice, because now you can see people coming. To me, that's always a little dangerous. You're creeping over to go around the bushes, and you can't see around that corner. So I'm always very cautious there. But good on them. They put up scaffolding, I'll call it, around the trees that are left, and I think they do that to maybe protect the trees when they're resurfacing. That's another reason why I think they're gonna resurface that. And about a half a mile before you get to Higgins Crow Road, they have cut a swath that goes through there. It's heading towards the circle
Yeah.
on,
Where Higgins Kroll and,
Yes.
kinda makes a,
there's a
Left
rotary
turn.
there. It's headed towards that rotary. From what people tell me, it's actually gonna not meet at that rotary. There's a big, huge pile of dirt at that rotary.
yeah.
So they're
I've ridden
really,
up that little
Yeah.
extension there,
yeah.
and it comes in maybe a couple hundred yards further down. from
Okay,
the
I didn't
rotary.
see where it came. I stopped
It
before.
it must go up and then kind of curve
Yeah.
paralleling
Yeah.
Route 6.
Yeah.
It could be, I'm not sure.
And the report that
It's
I
wide
would,
though.
it's very
It's
wide.
like a road. I mean,
I'm gonna just guess at like 30 feet.
yeah.
So to me, I think the new standards for rail trails, I think, is 10 or 12 feet wide. I'll say 12. It's wider than, certainly a lot of what's out there on the rail trail. So, and then I think there's some excess for, what would you call them, berms, where it will be leveled off. So to me, it really, really looks nice. I have ridden rail trails with the berms, and it's a big difference. And the reason I say that is, if you were riding along, you'd be more apt to get off the trail when you stop, if it's a, kind of a grassy area. or B, if you need to avoid people, it's not quite as hazardous to go off the side. A lot of the rail trail, there's a lip on that rail trail, and that can be jarring, or you could catch your tire coming back onto it. And a lot of, because of our sandy soil, once you get in off the rail trail, your wheel locks up and you go over your front bar. So that's not something we typically do, but it's looking like they're gonna make that be a wide area has regular dirt. So it's exciting to see it. I think they're, again, I think they're doing everything we could hope for, and it looks very promising. I was impressed. The last thing I have for new business is ideas for any 2025 projects. Well, I think we have two things that have come up today. We got to watch for the dirt on the thing. Keep our eyes and ears open.
And feel free, take a picture.
Yeah.
If not, or at least let me know and roughly the spot.
And the same with the graffiti. You know, we should do that. Or I know last year there was some vandalism down on the circle, and we Link's taking care of it.
Link takes care of it.
Yeah.
He's
I ran into some old information, and it appears that the Cape Cod Rail Trail will be celebrating an anniversary in 2027 or 2028. And I was thinking that how long has it been since we did the anniversry? Has it been 10 years?
Has it been 10 years? Have I
don't
been
know.
here that long?
Because
I didn't go on it, so it probably was 10 years ago.
Because we did an anniversary ride, and we connected with the Cranberry Festival.
That's right.
That we were going to start at the Cranberry Festival or end at the Cranberry.
We were going to end at the Cranberry Festival.
Right.
We did.
And there was like 5 riders or 6 riders.
Yeah.
Yeah, was it a Sunday morning? It was something.
Yeah, we couldn't do it on Saturday. The festival organizers didn't want us to do it on Saturday. They said the fair is too busy on Saturdays to let bikers in.
Right. But that's
So
kind
I'm
of a neat
thinking
idea.
that
Somehow we got to celebrate it.
there's an anniversary coming up.
Yeah, and we could think of, I mean, that'd be a nice way to celebrate it, or maybe something else. But you could think of that many different ways. I mean, you could have a couple of different lengths, so you could have young children participating, and you know what I mean. You could really, it'd be pretty easy to do it, really. So yeah.
And I noticed on Facebook, there's Friends of Cape Cod Rail Trail. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah.
And they've been publishing the history. I think, you know, like in segments, right?
Yeah.
Like in little bits. Maybe that ought to be, I don't know, some way to publicize that, or maybe a plaque could be created or something at the, you know, information thing, or on one of the map holders or something. I don't know. Like, that's kind of interesting to me to think about. You know, 100 years ago, there, you know, people.
A long
were
time
using
ago, you did something, I don't want to say a history. I know you, at the Rotary right now,
Right.
at our Rotary, there's a
Yes. An information
whole thing.
sheet.
Wasn't it the history of
Yeah.
it at the time? You looked it up at the library or whatever it was.
I vaguely remember, was it a document
It's
that
right
was up
there.
there? Oh, it's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
yeah.
there.
Oh, okay.
It's still there at the Rotary.
I have
But
read
you
it.
have to look
Yeah,
at it.
I have
But
read
I
it.
don't know how long. I remember you doing that. That was
So
Yeah,
keep that in the back of your mind.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
There's got to be an anniversary coming up, either next year or the following year.
Okay.
And that's all you have to do is send out your text message saying, I'm going for a ride.
Yeah. Yes.
And you'll get 20 people.
Yes. Yeah. No, I know. I think people would love to ride in it. You know? Yeah, it'd be great. So under old business, I have a note to just follow up on the contact list I think that we have that issue solved now, true?
Yes.
You know, we can put that issue to bed. We can contact each other now, no problem. I have a note to follow up on the committee charter. Alan works on that, and he's unable to attend today, so we'll just push that off to next meeting. That's just something we're gonna need to kind of keep chipping away at. You know, I certainly think it's a useful project. I think our plan is to start with the liaison, which I think he's,
I don't know if Chatham does, but I know Orleans does, and another town, they call themselves the Bike and Pedestrian
okay, good.
Committee.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I think Falmouth does.
So, you know, maybe Alan can get it together this year.
Yeah. Placement of maps for the 2025 season. We
Yes.
have a volunteer for that. Fred
Volunteered, great.
volunteered. And, well, what he really said is if he wasn't here, we could assign it to him. So.
I move we make Fred
I
the
second-
chairman of
second
the
the motion.
map placement committee, subcommittee.
Well, we've all done it,
We've all
except
done
you.
it, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we've done it for years,
done it for
probably
years, yeah.
8
But
years.
there's
and
only
then
two.
he did it.
There's only two
boxes,
now.
so-
Now there's only 2 boxes.
I know.
When we did it, we did the rail trail. We
Right.
did. and
I did 2 or 3 by myself. Yeah.
We used to do the trail.
So anyway,
Very impressed.
He said he would do it.
yes, we just
I-
gotta get him to stop.
I have.
Send him an email and say,
I'll
meet
send
me
him
at-
an email. I have about 250 maps
Yeah.
left. That's
Yeah.
it. So I don't know if that'll take us the year.
I don't know. By the way, I have been following up on the maps on the rail trail, and DCR is, they are out and well stocked, so that looks good. They really have taken that.
If you would tune into the Rail Trail Committee meetings that are virtual,
I know, I should really, I've had a
Renee.
busy year.
Renee and Susie here,
Yeah,
keeping up with that, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
especially if they hear about, or it gets posted on Facebook that Station Avenue was out of maps, the next day or that day, they'll be out there.
yeah. No, I think they're doing a
They're
great
doing a great
job.
job, yeah, and we don't have to do it.
Yeah,
I know you're down there more than yeah, they're in the car. I have still some rail trail maps, maybe 150
yeah,
or so. So I brought them with me also today.
yeah.
Want me to give
Because
them
it'd
to
be
you?
good to use them up,
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
rather than hold on to them until they're
No,
ready.
that's what I meant, to give it to them and use them up, because, you know, at some point you make some changes.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, and that, who knows?
Kathleen's after me to solicit the sponsors,
Oh, yeah,
and so she can send the information out to the printer to print more maps. But she just bought some in September, so like 1,700 or something.
okay.
And
Well, I can give you can I give them to you, after the meeting? And I've got a few, it's a handful, maybe it's only 50, 75, but.
Yeah, but even if Fred put them in the back of the Old Colony Trail, put a few, he'd use them up eventually. And people will take them out of there, I guarantee it. Last item for us is, I'm gonna give a little report on Stephanie Soares' lecture she did here at the community center. First of all, we are very, very fortunate that she is around and helps out the biking community. I mean, she does, besides putting on this lecture, which I've been to before, she is involved with running a team for charity rides, and she's very involved in the biking community. She's a physical therapist, and she also does bike fitting. So we're just, you know, the Cape she's a real gem and a real great speaker. Her lecture, she's very brave. That's what I would say. She changes a tire with somebody from the audience. Now, I'm a good changer of tires and all that, but
Well, you get a lot of flack.
well, people watching me, you know, everything goes wrong. You puncture. So she guided a lady who had never changed a tire, and they changed the tire and put a new tire back on. And it's pretty amazing that she's able to do that. And I give her all kinds of credit. What a great job. The only slight thing was she had it at was it 3 in the afternoon? 4. And it was not well attended.
Yeah.
Which was sad because it's such a great
I
program.
forgot about it.
And there was people from Mass Bike there,
Mass Bike, the one guy.
and
I thought it was the Cape Cod Commission.
Cape Cod Commission.
'Cause
Well,
Mass Bike's-
but aren't they Mass Bike? Are they these are different people. So he had a neat little thing you can wear around your neck that you can put your license on or identification on while you're riding. You can put some money in there. It was like a little wallet that goes around your neck. So but I talked to him. They have a lot of projects going.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing.
He did mention too, he got a camera back on the Old Colony Rail Trail, you know, a counter.
Counter.
Because they removed it.
Yeah.
I said a camera, a counter. But I thought he said it's closer to Oak Street now. They moved it. Before it was
they
in the
moved
Brooks
it.
Park area.
Right. Right.
And so I don't know where, I haven't seen it. Of course,
I haven't
you know,
seen
The
I
only
don't look
trouble
for it.
with that is they collect this information, but we never see it. They don't disseminate it, at least to any of the bike committees that I know,
Yeah,
which is a shame.
yeah.
Yeah, only a few years ago, and I brought it up to him only because I remember they had a graph one time,
Yeah.
at least a year, 2 years ago. And so I went to the graph to show the head counts. And, you know, we were like, our was like 0. And I emailed Colleen and she said, oh, we removed that one for some reason. I can't remember what,
Yeah.
whether it broke or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it never made it back for a couple of years, I think. But yeah, lately we haven't seen anything that would tell us our counts.
And yet, when we were doing the physical counts, we always shared the results with them.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's just maybe the way they do their monthly report. I mean,
I don't
do
know.
you know her? Could you,
I don't know her, but I could email her.
can we do that?
What's the name of the organization that we're talking about here?
She is Cape Cod Commission, right? If I'm not mistaken. She's
Yeah, Colleen Medeiros?
Medeiros.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I forget what her title is, but
Okay,
she's
that's who's put the counter in though? I'm just
Some
putting
kinda-
notes.
yes.
some kind of analyst.
Yeah.
Don't you get her?
I do.
Yeah.
I just didn't know who I got, I lost track.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea, you know?
But the counter is back.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
that's good news.
So good on Stephanie, and
Yeah.
I definitely, if she's putting on some kind of a talk or lecture, it's worth your time to go.
It is. It really, really is.
I think she said she was going to do some other lecture. I don't remember where, but you know, oh, I know what it was. It was for pickleball. It wasn't for biking, but because you know she's a physical therapist. So my wife was telling me that she's putting on some program for folks in pickleball. So
They didn't
I
have,
was stretching
they
everything.
didn't have the hospital auxiliary there this year
where?
at the event, that
Stephanie's?
the biking event. here.
Oh no, not that I know of.
Nope.
No.
No.
No. And so, I move we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
I second.
Second it.
Good.
Hey, well done.
Next meeting,
Thanks for the,
17 June.
okay.
17th of June?
Thanks for the thing.
Yeah.
Weird.